The old adage, does defense win championships? Is it dead? Have we progressed so far offensively that now offense wins championships? Philly 500 is here. I am Adrian Fedke. We're going to discuss this, and we're going to tie it into the trade rumors and everything that's going on right now in Philadelphia. Philly 500, how's it going, bud?
What's up, buddy? How you doing? How's everybody doing? I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you enjoyed the Sixers loss. No, you didn't enjoy that.
Yeah,
I hope everybody's doing good. And this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be an interesting show because of all the rumors and stuff going on. I can't wait to dive in and get your opinion on it.
Yeah, everybody always says, well, defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. I don't know about that anymore. Even you look back at the Eagles squad from last year, it's like what's winning championships right now is the offense with the best defense. That's what's winning championships. So Philadelphia, sure, they had a top 5 defense last year, but they were the second-ranked offense. I mean, their offense was carrying the team more so than the defense last year. It was the offense getting off the big leads and making it more predictable for the play calling end on the other side because they were throwing the ball a lot. So that was helping out the defense, and it's about the O right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's about the offense. You need offense. You need to be able to score points in this league. And I think defensively, you need opportunistic defense, defenses that get turnovers at key points. I think the most important part of a defense today in today's game is to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. If you can get pressure on the quarterback, you can disrupt another offense. And to me, that's what you want, an opportunistic defense. Think about the Super Bowl. Think about the Eagles allowed 500-something yards passing. They couldn't stop Brady. But when they had the lead, Brandon Graham opportunistically forced a fumble. The Eagles recovered, and that was pretty much all she wrote. So I think that's just the trend the NFL's going. And they want it to go this way. The rules are showing that this is how it's going. And I think it's important for the Eagles to make sure that they load up on offense and spend their resources on offense, before the trade deadline.
Opportunistic defense, creating turnovers, that's a great point. That's what the Saints did in 2009. So defense wasn't the best in terms of the players that were on it, but they were creating turnovers and, basically winning the possession battle there because they'd have more than the other team. And you have that offense with Drew Brees. You can score as many points as you want. I mean, sure, it's like you have the defenses like Seattle and like Denver, and, you're still going to get those teams. But I did some digging before the show. I've got some numbers for you. I got some numbers.
Hit me with the numbers.
Never lie. They don't lie. So right now in 2018, 7 teams are defensively are allowing 20 points per game or less. And I think like 4 of those teams are in the 19s. So right now, defenses aren't really stopping anybody. So you compare that to 2008, you had 9 teams with 20 points per game or less. 1998, it was 11. 1988, it was 14. In 1978, when defenses definitely won championships, it was 21.
Wow.
So you can see the scoring is just going up and up and up and up. So we're seeing the implementation even of the spread offenses from college. So the college offenses, I think it's actually becoming a little easier for some of the players to transition from college to the NFL because we're seeing a lot more college concepts in the National Football League. So we're seeing that, and I'm just not. And these rules too, like the rules are just killing the game. You're extending drives because you land on top of somebody, and you get flagged for it. So that in itself is not helping the defenses either. The defenses right now, they need to learn how to tackle again because there's just flags galore.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the couple penalties that Bennett had on him, which were just horrible calls. Then you look at the Sunday night game where the defensive lineman has Brady wrapped up and he lets go because he doesn't know if he's going to get a penalty. He doesn't know what's going on. These guys are scared to tackle. They don't know what to do. The rules are very confusing. And I think that because of the rule changes, because of the push for offense in this league, I think even a few years ago, it's changed dramatically. Like when Seattle won the Super Bowl it's not the same game as even then. I mean, look at the last two Super Bowls. They both were won with offense, not defense.
Yeah, yeah. And even Seattle, I had that one year, New England beat them. It was 28-24. So we're seeing points being scored. Even you think like that San Francisco Baltimore Super Bowl, supposed two great defenses, it was a slugfest offensively. It was 34-31.
Yeah.
So we're just seeing more and more scoring each and every year. And to be honest with you, I know that people like scoring. I don't like all this scoring. I'm not into it. I'm like an old school guy. I like defense. I like slugfest. Like give me a game that's 17-17 heading into like the last 5 minutes. Like give me that.
Yeah.
Right now we're seeing so much separation between the offenses and the defenses. Guys are just running free, and to me it's not as fun. Like a 43-40 game, sure, that's awesome, and there's so many great plays, but what I'm seeing defenses just getting shredded. It's becoming like the college game, and part of the reason why I don't like the college game as much as the NFL game is because teams go up and down the field. I don't think that's fun. Going up and down the field isn't fun to me. I want to see some defense.
I agree. I mean, I come from that old school Buddy Ryan 1991 defense, dominating an offense, imposing their will, taking players off. I mean, that's gone. That is gone in today's football, and I do miss it. I would like an even playing field from offense to defense, but it's just not that way anymore. It does not happen, and the league is not going to change it. They want this. They want all this scoring.
What they want. Yeah,
they want, and they're going to keep pushing it. And as they keep doing it, you're going to see defense become less relevant in some ways. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. And the way I'm kind of viewing it now, it's like the shutdown defense is the defense that shuts you down in the red zone. Like the red zone defense has now become important because it's becoming too easy to move the ball in between the 20s. So you're going to get points almost on every possession at this point, the way it's going. You just got to stop him inside the 20.
Yeah, I agree. It's all about holding teams to field goals and not touchdowns. I completely agree. It is. Just look at this. The Sunday night game, to me, is the perfect example of how the NFL is going. Kansas City and New England scored a ton of points. New England, in the last, I think, 3 or 4 games, they've scored 30 points, over 30 points every game. That's the way the league is going. And you gotta be adjusting and going with it in terms of where you allocate your money, where you put your resources. I think that's very important.
New England had like 2 dynasties essentially, and the first dynasty was led by their defense.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Harrison and Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, all those guys.
Yeah,
Ty Law, and then now it's Brady. It's the Brady dynasty, and their offense, and him just controlling everything.
Yeah, it's exactly. The Patriots have been really good at adapting to changes.
Yep.
And they're very good at that. And that's why they are where they are. I mean, let's face it.
Yep. So the reason why we're kind of doing this topic in this show, it goes back to the Eagles needing a weapon. And I think adding an offensive weapon is more important than adding a defensive weapon. And especially kind of like what we're seeing. You're seeing Kansas City. You're seeing New England. You're seeing the Rams. All these teams are averaging 30+. And with actually, never mind. The Kansas City, it's 35.8. New Orleans, 36. The Rams, 32.7. So basically, all the offenses are potent in scoring 30 points a game. This Eagles offense right now isn't up there among those teams. You add somebody, you add some more explosion. I think that's what helps you win a Super Bowl again, more so than a defensive player.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that's where you have to spend, if you're going to trade picks and stuff, you want to do it around your offense. We need to have firepower. We need to be able to match the Rams in certain games. We need to be able to match these teams when it comes down to it, because your defense isn't always going to get stops. These teams have multiple weapons. They have a lot of weapons, and they're going to score points. And if you can't score points, if you can't keep their offense off the field for lengths of time, you're going to have trouble. I don't care who you have in defense. It's just the way it goes.
And the other thing too is, if you bring in a running back like Le'Veon Bell, it's going to be a lot easier for him to transition than, say, a cornerback like Patrick Peterson, who's going to have to learn the defense and all the nuances of it. Like, it's a lot easier to bring in a running back and give him a couple plays and get going immediately than to bring in somebody like PP.
That's right. I agree. It's definitely a lot easier. And the other thing that we have to remember is that this team is invested in Carson Wentz. They spent a lot of draft picks to get him. They're going to have to spend a lot of money on him. And you have to make sure you take the pressure off of him where you can. He's taking a lot of shots. He's taking a lot of hits. And you have to give him weapons so he can succeed. So to me, investing in a guy like Le'Veon Bell is really an investment in Carson Wentz's future. That's how I kind of see it, as well as you wanting to make a run.
And adding Le'Veon Bell is going to help you beat the Rams. Because the Rams right now, it's the same kind of thing as last year on their defense, struggling to stop the run on the edges. So you've got Ndamukong Suh, you got Michael Brockers, you got Aaron Donald. That's stout. It's amazing. But you can run outside of them. Yeah. So the outside sweeps and the outside zone, that's what Philly likes to do. The other thing you can do is exploit their linebackers with Le'Veon Bell in the passing game. Screens, slot, wide.
Right.
Le'Veon Bell is going to help you beat the Rams.
Absolutely. Le'Veon Bell is the perfect fit for this team.
Yes, he is.
He's the perfect fit. What he would do, not only in the run game, but we talked about how he could catch out of the backfield in the passing game. Even blocking, he can block. He's a great blocker. I mean, he would help in every facet of the game. He would open it up for everybody else. And to me, that's why he's my first choice. If you can get him, if you can spend the resources, spend it on him first and foremost, he would be the best. He's the answer right now, I think.
The people want to say it's like, the popular opinion is like, running backs are not worth the money. He is not your typical running back. This is a different situation here. This like, you look at like the Todd Gurley situation. I agreed with what the Rams did. I mean, considering what Gurley can do. So Bell, it's more than, again, it's more than just being a running back. Doug Peterson loves running backs who can catch passes. This is like imperative in his offense. And if you bring Le'Veon Bell, man, it's like you have a 3rd and 5, and you have him run an option route from the slot. That's not being a running back. That's being a wide receiver. And
right.
Up a first down. You're not just paying a running back.
Yeah.
You're paying basically a fullback too, because he can blitz pick up, and you're paying a wide receiver because you can run routes with him. He's that good.
Yeah.
So he can do everything. And I think they would front load the deal so he'd get his money early. And then by the time Carson needs to get paid, you could kind of get him off the books. If Howie thinks this can work, who's going to doubt him?
Well, I'm not going to doubt him. I agree. I mean, I think you're right. The point you're making is right. We can't look at a guy like Le'Veon Bell as a running back. You have to look at him as a weapon, an offensive weapon, because he does so much. And when you look at him through those eyes and those glasses, you can see why, yes, you go out and you get him. Howie can make it work. Howie is good with these kind of things. What he did when he took over for Chip Kelly, the crap that we were in cap-wise, the movements and the things he did, to me, I have no doubt in my mind that when it comes to it, he can make it work if they really want him.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you pay Le'Veon Bell the money, the other thing to keep in mind, you're going to have your draft picks back because You got rid of a lot to go get Carson Wentz. Well, you got 11 for next year, 10 if you trade for Le'Veon Bell. It's 10 picks. It's a lot of picks, and they're gonna continue to restock because they have the ammunition back. So that's gonna help you fill out your roster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It will definitely help you fill out your roster. Not to mention, Le'Veon is only 26 years old.
Yeah,
So you want
it's
to
not
give
like we're talking about paying a guy that's 28, 29.
no, he's 26 years old. He's going to give you a good 4 or 5 years. And to me, uh, a guy like Le'Veon Bell is Carson Wentz's best friend. He does so much to take pressure off Carson, where he doesn't have to throw 50 times a game. You know what I mean? And I don't see why you wouldn't go. It's hard for me to understand why you wouldn't go after a guy like that, because a guy like that doesn't come available all the time. He's a dynamic player. I think he's a game-changing player.
Now, hopefully, he reports to the Steelers, and that all gets settled.
Well,
That's
he was supposed to report this week, right? And he
Yeah.
didn't, and it's a bye week. So,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the more that this goes on, the more the Steelers are going to
There's more
to get rid of him.
The Eagles. There's more leverage
Yeah.
for the Eagles.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Le'Veon Bell is the perfect choice. And I know some people don't like that he held out and they think he's got an attitude problem and all those kind of things. I understand why he held out. He's been franchised, 2 times, 3 times? I don't know how many times, but it's been a lot.
Yeah.
And he wants to get paid. But I think the Eagles are the perfect spot for him. I think he knows it. I think the Eagles know it. I think that's why there's rumors about it. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does, for sure.
If it's not Le'Veon Bell, who do you want?
Well, I mean,
it doesn't have to be a running back, like whatever weapon you want.
Well, I will say this. I don't believe the David Johnson rumors, because if I did, I would want him. But yeah. I think the fact that the Raiders are shopping Amari Cooper, I'm a believer that Amari Cooper is very talented and that he's in the wrong place, and being with the Raiders has hurt his career. I believe going to the Eagles and looking at what the Eagles did with Aguilar in 2016, I think they could do the same thing for Amari Cooper. And if Amari Cooper can live up to his talent, he would be a stud, opposite of Alshon Jeffrey, by the way. So that would be my second choice, probably.
Yeah, he's like an intermediate route runner. He can run deep.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is just a guy that can't get him the ball right now. He can't get him the ball. And his stats are dwindling. They don't look good right now. And that to me is like, why if you're the Raiders, are you trying to shop him? Like, his stock is very low right now. So if you try to trade him, you're not going to get much. You might think you're going to get a first, or you're saying you want a first. You ain't getting more than a third, pal. You ain't getting more than a third, John.
Yeah. I mean, look, they could come out and say we want a first round pick. I mean, that's what they normally do. They're trying to gain leverage. Exactly. They're trying to start, have a mark.
Start of a negotiation.
Right. It's the start of a negotiation. Of course, if you're the Eagles, you come back, we'll give you a fourth, and then you work it out and you figure out, a way. But I think that he's 24 years old. The guy is very talented. He just needs a change of scenery. He needs somewhere to go that the coaches can bring it out of him. And him being the number 2 guy next to Alshon, I think he could be a Pro Bowl player, dude. I do. I think he could. Yeah, it would be brutal. I mean, it would sure help the passing game. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you'd get him for not only this year but next. Now I think the cap hit for next year is pretty high, right? It's like $13 million. So maybe they would work out some sort of deal, little extension action. So yeah, that would probably happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you would do. You would extend them, you work the deal out, and you wouldn't get that cap hit. That's the easy part, really, for Howie Roseman to do. Yeah. To me, I look at it like you're getting a guy that was the 4th pick overall, had really good years early on, and then he struggled. But really, the the Raiders, with the coaching staff, with everything going, what do you expect to happen? He needs to go somewhere that they can work with him. And seeing what they did with Aguilar had all those drops. He was horrible. He mentally checked out. They had to bench him, and they were able to get him back and get him right. I think they could do the same thing with Amari Cooper. So getting Amari Cooper to me is saying that I trust this coaching staff to get things right with him, and I believe that.
And he's been leading the NFL in drops too. So
Drops.
like an Aguilar.
Like an Aguilar. So, I think things snowball. When things go bad, things can go really, really bad. And the Raiders, it's been a mess. It's been chaotic.
Yeah.
Let's face it, for how many years with that organization?
Sheesh. Yeah, John Gruden, he wants to make the team in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. I mean, look, I think that, I know some people are saying, well, hey, Wallace will be back by week 11 or 12. I don't trust Mike Wallace to come back.
Did Mike Wallace do anything before he even got hurt anyway?
No, he didn't. But I don't expect them to come in and be 100%.
Exactly.
Mac Hollins, I don't, both of these guys are iffy to even come back. But if they do, what makes you think they're going to be 100% and change everything around? I still think you need another outside wide receiver. So I would definitely go out and try to get him. I mean, the thing with Amari Cooper is they said the Raiders are calling people. The Raiders are shopping him. It's not like, we have
that is not how you gain leverage.
No, not at all. So they want to move the guy. Well, hey, look, it's a perfect place. I think this is the perfect place for him.
Yeah. The other guy that's available is Carl Joseph. Now he's a safety.
You could throw him in. Why not?
Yeah. Well, if you threw him in, you'd probably have to give up a second or a first.
Well, if I get both those guys, I'd give up a second.
Okay. I want Le'Veon Bell though first.
No, I want Le'Veon Bell's. That's my first choice. Not even close, dude. I mean,
ring the bell, Howie.
Le'Veon Bell to the Eagles would be unbelievable. Because I think this offense is going to get going a little bit. But I think if you added Le'Veon Bell, they would be so scary. They would be so scary. Yeah. I mean, and you would see, everybody would see the whole passing. Everything would open up even more. It'd be great.
Speaking of scary, it's not so scary now, these next two games, huh?
No, I mean, I always like their chances against Carolina.
Jacksonville's surprising me.
Jacksonville, I don't think they can score. I don't trust their offense. I don't think they can score enough. Their defense has been suspect the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And obviously they don't watch game tape or figure out how to beat a team because they didn't know what the hell to do against the Cowboys. I mean, I could have told them how to beat the Cowboys, and they looked horrible. And I think that the only thing that scares me about the Jacksonville game is the fact that the Eagles are traveling overseas. And they're not going to be, they're going to have to adjust. That's the only thing that bothers me. Otherwise, I think they're going to blow the Jacksonville out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. In terms of LaShawn McCoy rumors, it sounds like the Bills want a second for him. I wouldn't give him a second for McCoy.
I wouldn't give a second either. It sounds like McCoy is staying put, so.
Yeah, it sounds like they want to keep him there.
I wouldn't give a second for McCoy. No way.
No.
I'm
trying to see what else we got here on the agenda. I'm trying to get some trade rumor.
The Jordan Howard thing is interesting to me. I don't know how much I believe that's actually going to take place, but they are phasing him out in Chicago. I mean, they are not using him nearly as much. And I think he would be a decent addition, especially because he's only like 600,000 against the cap this year and like 700 next. So I wouldn't mind that, but I'm not giving like a first round pick up for him or a second round pick, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I've got like an article up of like trade targets and like these all suck. Marshawn Lynch, like they're not trade for Marshawn Lynch. They're not going to trade for Devontae Booker.
No.
Still got Devontae Parker maybe, but I'd rather have Amari Cooper than him.
Me too.
J.J. Nelson is a guy we've talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
Big speed guy, burner, deep threat.
Yeah.
Tyrell Williams we've talked about before. Yeah, all these guys we've kind of talked about already.
I mean, the thing is that we've got to use our assets to build up this offense. That's where I think we have to allocate our draft picks and stuff that we trade. It's got to be offensive. I know people want Patrick Peterson because they think he comes in and then they're going to shut everybody down. It's the game isn't that way anymore. He would be better. It would help, but it wouldn't help enough. You still got to score points. That's the key. Points. You want to score points,
especially with who the top teams are right now. The Rams, you got to go score for score with them. Patriots, you got to go score to score with them. We saw that in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Chiefs are scoring a bunch of points. You got to score 30 plus. That's what it is right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the trade article. LeGarrette Blount is another one. Look, it'd be great to get LeGarrette Blount back if it's possible, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem realistic either.
What's Detroit's record now? Right now,
they're 2-3 now. So
they're not going to trade him.
No, because they started 0-3, but they won their last two.
Yeah,
I mean they do have Kerryon Johnson and Theo Riddick, so I don't know if they think he's like expendable, but I like if you bring in LeGarrette Blount, that's not fixing. Like he's going to help, but he's not helping you beat the Rams.
Yeah, no, you need firepower. You need weapons.
Yeah,
All
right, I'm going to pull up the chat.
Let's do it.
In the chat, and let's see what people have to say. Let's see if the people are still stuck in the old line of thinking of defense winning championships. What I have to say. All right. Well, we got a dislike, so somebody definitely disagrees.
Dislikes. I ignore dislikes.
Don't want Amari Cooper or Devontae Parker, both inconsistent, says Eagles crazy. It looks like Amari Cooper is inconsistent, but look a little deeper into the situation and who the Raiders have, and Derek Carr not being a guy that can really get the ball downfield, it's limiting his production.
Yeah, well, listen, in 2016, everybody would have said, we don't want Aguilar. People were saying, we don't want Aguilar. He stinks, whatever, get rid of Aguilar. The coaching staff worked with him and were able to turn his career around. So I trust that they could do the same thing for a guy like Amari Cooper, who, by the way, I would say is more talented.
Yeah. Goober Botwin says there's a guy in Eagles Twitter claiming the Bell deal is done.
I like it, but I don't believe it.
Who's saying that though? Like, since I'm in the media, like if a Bell trade happens, in order for me to like believe it, I need two sources. And if it's one source, it better be Schefter.
Right. Well, I mean, look, they could, I guess they could technically work out a deal and agree upon a deal, but Bell still has to come in and show up and sign his tender. So it's kind of hard for me to believe that has happened when he hasn't even shown up yet.
Yeah.
I expect anything. I mean, because a lot of people are saying, well, why haven't we made a trade yet? Why we haven't made a trade yet? You ain't going to see a trade until closer to the trade deadline.
Yeah, you gotta relax. It's going to happen.
It's going to be a while. Yeah. I would love the Bell. If Bell came, oh my God, dude, I would flip out. I don't know what I'll do, but I will flip out.
You got some people saying like they don't want to pay Bell. Like so like that. There's a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, I don't. He doesn't. I'm not.
It's not. Again, it goes back to him not really being a running back. It's more than him being a running back.
Right. He's a weapon. He's not just a running back. I think that normally, like with running backs and the way they are, I would agree. But when you're dealing with certain players, I think there are exceptions to the rule. I think Le'Veon Bell is an exception to the rule. I think Todd Gurley would be an exception to the rule. I think there are some exceptions to the rule. And, with a guy like Bell, I don't think you can just look at him and say, oh, this is a running back. We don't pay running backs. He is a weapon. A weapon. That's how I look at him.
Anthony Wilson says, how can we depend on him now? He hasn't played in a year. I mean, I don't know. He's pretty fucking good.
I mean, it's going to take him a little bit of time, I'm sure, to come in. But by the time you get to
What?
December and
Yeah,
the playoffs,
it's back. It's back to that. It's like right now you're not going to get a 1 seed. You're probably not going to get a 2 seed. Right now you're trying to get the best possible team fielded for the playoffs. And by the time you're ready to go to the playoffs, Le'Veon Bell is going to be in mid-season form.
yeah, I don't think it'll take that.
And he
long.
also doesn't have all the carries under his belt. So if anything, he's going to be very, very fresh.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't get that point actually.
Yeah. Well, the thing is if you're looking for him to play against Jacksonville Jaguars, yeah, of course. But we're thinking about this team going into the playoffs, and you have Bell full throttle now. You are a scary team that could go in and beat anybody.
Yeah.
The
Don says, I think Jordan Howard would fit perfectly. Doesn't have the diva label.
Yeah, I mean, the diva label, though, I don't care about the diva label. I don't care about that. Doesn't bother me.
The diva label, considering what this locker room is, doesn't bother me either.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Jordan Howard, look, I like the option of Jordan Howard if you can't get Le'Veon Bell. But first of all, are they going to trade him? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. But he is cheap. He would allow you to go and do more things with the salary for sure.
Yeah.
But he's not Le'Veon Bell, though. I mean, that's the one thing. Le'Veon Bell is such a difference maker offensively. You know what I mean? He puts fear into defenses.
Yeah, it's like Jordan Howard is nice, but he ain't going to help you beat the Rams. It goes back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say I agree. If you get Jordan Howard, you still got to look to do another. You still need to make another move. Maybe you get Jordan Howard like Amari Cooper. Okay, then maybe we're talking, but you still would have to do something else. I think if you get Le'Veon Bell, I don't know that you have to do much else of anything.
The one other guy that I've seen a lot that people seem to like is Duke Johnson from Cleveland. In terms of the passing game, I mean, I guess, but like again, I want a Super Bowl. It comes back to that. It's like I want a Super Bowl, and right. I want the best that's out there, and the best that's out there is Le'Veon Bell.
I agree.
It goes back to that.
It's just such a big difference between Le'Veon Bell and Duke Johnson. I mean, he would be nice. He would work in the rotation fine, but it's not going to put you over the top.
Yeah. Hold on. So Jean Saint Fort says, "Hey Adrian, we need more of your intake with Philly 500 more than ESP." So Elliott Shore-Parks is off the rocker again. I've been a guy that's defended Jalen Mills because not that Jalen Mills, hasn't played good this year, because he hasn't. But my point with Jalen Mills is like it was more Jim Schwartz, it was more the team not helping him out. And then you have ESP just go into complete ESP mode and says that Jalen Mills is the best cornerback on the Eagles roster. And he had a fucking article about it, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous. Because that ain't true.
No, I mean, like this is what he does. He does stupid shit like this, and then he thinks he's actually right because he has numbers to quote unquote prove it.
Right. Yeah, Jalen Mills is definitely not the best corner on this team. Oh. But I agree with you in the sense that he's not as bad as made out to seem. You know what I mean? But my issue with him is I just don't understand how you can constantly bite on the double move when you know it's coming. Yep.
Dennis Guerrero, thoughts on Tyrell Williams from the Chargers? He would make this offense electric. He'd be a nice piece. Nice piece. But again, it goes back to like who's going to be the guy that puts you over the top. I don't think he puts you over the top.
Well, see, and that's what that's what we're talking about. Like you can talk like Jordan Howard, Williams. You can talk all these guys, but you still need to add more because you still got problems with the holes. But if you add a Le'Veon Bell, I think you don't need to add other pieces. I think you're ready to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Somebody was saying EDP's channel got terminated. I hope that's not the case.
I hope not either.
I don't know if like maybe he just like shut it down again and then he'll get it back because that happens sometimes where like he'll get a strike and then he'll like deactivate his account or whatever to just prevent any more strikes from happening and then his account will be back. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'll have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I hope it's not terminated. That would be horrible.
Yeah. All right. And the Don says that we are the new Kobe and Shaq. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. So there you go. We got to some questions. Hopefully, you guys like the show. Make sure to like the show. By the way, I found out if you like the show, I get more money.
You do
Yeah.
get more money. Pay the man.
Yeah.
Like
So
the
like
show.
a little like will give me like 5 cents. You give
Make
me
sure you like. Make sure you subscribe to both channels, because it's going to be one fun year. That's for sure. And we want Adrian to get paid.
Yeah. There we are. All right. We're going to end it on that note. That's Philly 500. I am Adrian Fedq. We're out of here. And
Peace.
hopefully, there's a crack in the Liberty Bell.
There you go.
See ya.
Peace.